I shot Toots and I shot Marley. And do you know the Wingless Angels?
Yeah.
I love them. It's Keith Richard produced that.
Yeah.
It was mad. I mean, they were. Bob looked like an amateur compared, because these motherfuckers had the hair down to the floor, and they were kind of itinerant. And of course, I love, and their version of Rivers of Babylon. Yes. You got to believe after that album. Certainly, the only problem with Rastafarianism that I can see is that they advised Bob badly by not letting him have a bit of Western medicine. Immediately he got that foot injury. Instead he let it hang around and was still touring. And it was too late by the time he agreed to see Western physicians. But they could have saved him. And the band were pissed off, I know, because they were flying. I mean, they were high gear. And Bob didn't have to die. He just didn't. I met him once, and the fucking spliff, man, I'm telling you. Because he wasn't very tall. But I remember he smiled at me and he said, what did he say? You want some of this, man? And I said, yes, please, sir, And so that was, but I also, you could get religion watching Bob Marley. I mean, he could sing about religion and politics in a way that no other popular singer. I mean, I love all kinds of music. Just maybe trying to tell you that. I love all this, obviously, and David and Lou and Iggy and Debbie and the Remote, all this glammy punky stuff. But there's also some outliers that I like, and Bob is major. I even went to see the Grateful Dead in the summer of '72. I went from a Bowie gig the previous night to see the Grateful Dead. Jerry still had black hair. Well, I had a friend had turned me onto them on an acid trip, and then there was Working Man's Dead and American Beauty, riding a train high on cocaine, and I was starting to look at cocaine myself, so the timing was interesting. Anyway, enough of that, like twisting the minds of the youth of the nation. We're going to stop that immediately. My mother once said that to me because I talked about certain things in an interview, and and this was probably the early 2000s, and I'm thinking, I couldn't twist the minds of kids today. But that's not, I mean, they don't need me. It's whatever I did was a long time ago. But I don't mind a puff of the old Dewberry, but that's it. The non-writing pens are fabulous.
The proof of the genius is behind you with the puff. So
sometimes my wife would like me to be locked up after dark. So she doesn't buy the genius rap. She thinks, I think you have an imbalance, Michael. I think that's what's done it. And you've hung out with imbalanced people. Well, yeah, you could, from a certain perspective, you could look at it a little like that. But I'm having fun. I mean, believe you me, everything is, hunky-dory these days, but I was broke for 15 years. And if you've seen Shots, so that whole palaver, I was shooting a guy. They tried to recreate it, and maybe they got the echo of it, but I was shooting an album cover for a guy called Sir Mac Rice, where he wrote Mustang Sally and Respect Yourself and a bunch of other stuff. An older black guy, and this is 22 years ago. I don't even know if he's still around. And a great track called Money Talks. That's a great one. Anyway, and I did. Somehow I got through it. And I think, as it happens, when I talk to my cardiologist after the heart attacks and after they chopped me open and dined on my insides, he said to me that you've got a very strong heart muscle, otherwise you would have been dead. And when I had done a lot, in spite of all the other things were going on, I had done a lot of yoga, had 10-minute headstands every day, which I still do. So, and I get a lot of massages as well, and I get needles, but of a therapeutic variety, and I get cracked, and I chant, and I meditate, and I have a meditation machine. So I'm like a junkie, but I call it an alternative junkie. So if I do a talk nowadays, if I'm going to throw in a bit of positive thinking, the thing I always say is, you want to get high? I'm high. You need to suck on the oxygen in efficient ways, and but obviously they found out great therapeutic value of marijuana, but beyond the getting high factor. I know because I use some of that stuff with THC on my knees occasionally, and it's amazing stuff. I know they're battling here to get it legalized, right, in Ontario. Yeah, I'm sure it will.